Hey, bro, don't forget, it ain't the first 48, bro. It's 60 minutes, bro.
We heard a whole lot of lip service, but hey, anybody can do that. But between the lines,
come with the kid, you best not miss. Even the score now, we need to score now. Back on that wall, when you hear that call, you know it's going down. We play from beginning to ending, you know how we finish. Turn to the bank, gotta handle our business. We need the ball, so it's time to go get it. Play with your heart when you hit, make like, who you with? You know I'm with. You come to the bank and get out of line, we sending a blitz. Say who you with? You know I'm with. That purple and black, and when we attack, you know what it is.
You're now locked in Zone 32.
Ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of the Zone 32 podcast. I'm BT. We got Will. We got Drew. Jake's going to be here a little bit later. But what's going on, guys?
Shut the fuck up.
Fuck you.
That doesn't sound the same. Not telling Jake, shut the fuck up. I don't really know what to do. I'm kind of lost.
I don't know either.
It was unenthusiastic. Yeah. We're like,
Well, usually Jake says something, stupid, so then I have to tell him shut the fuck up. But BT didn't say anything stupid this week. Obviously irritated. Montante, where is Trippy? Who the fuck knows where Trippy is? He's probably still sad.
Honestly, I think Tripp may have taken a nap and overslept because I texted him and he didn't respond. So
my assumption is we'll see Trippy around 10:40.
Yeah,
he'll probably wake up as the show's getting ready to wrap up.
His natural alarm clock, based on previous times of this sort of thing happening, is he'll probably show up at 10:45, 11 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah, because he went to the game on Sunday, so I don't know. Should I intro that fucking train wreck that we had to watch on Sunday, or
yeah. Let's get into it.
In typical Jake fashion, just pretend that I put a bunch of nonsense in here talking about, we scored some touchdowns, some good things happened, and then Eddie fucking Jackson happened and we lost. The reality is there's nothing to that game. Typically I can find some kind of silver lining to be positive, but there really was no positive. I mean, Lamar was okay, nothing special. Lamar was not helped by drops, obviously. Derrick Henry was, 7 yards a carry, but he only had 11 carries. So what the fuck? We're going back to the Chiefs game plan there. Eddie Jackson was the most targeted wide receiver by Jameis Winston and came down with 0 catches. What else happened here? Kyle Hamilton played a great fucking game until the one play where it mattered, and then he dropped it. So, I mean, there was fucking nothing good about that game. Justin Tucker missed another 50-yard kick on the tail of a drop third down conversion. So, I don't know who we want to see should shit on, because there's a lot of people that need to be, fucking shit on for that performance. You have Jameis Winston essentially coming off the couch, not playing for 2 years, and looking like, prime FSU Jameis Winston, which is just not good. I would also like to say I was really afraid of Jameis Winston. So BD made fun of me for that comment.
Yeah.
But clearly I was correct. So fuck you, Visionless Dave. I'm sure you're watching somewhere, dickhead. I'm also watching the World Series, so we can sprinkle in some talking baseball for BD's purposes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So let me rank, in my opinion, by player who is most at fault. Okay. Rashad Bateman's number one. I'm going to go.
Do you want me to get through your whole list and then I can argue your list, or do you want to go one?
Yeah,
by
you might agree with my list of players. Who knows? But number one on the list is Rashad Bateman.
No, it's Eddie Jackson. As much as I would love to trash the nail paint, absolute clown show that Rashad Bateman is, Eddie Jackson was worse. Because we could have survived the Rashad Bateman drops if Eddie Jackson didn't suck balls. So that would be my argument against that. It's not any.
I think it's a chicken and egg thing, and I put more on Bateman because of the fact that Bateman is number one. I mean, forever, he's a first round pick, so expectations are higher. He's been on the team longer. Eddie Jackson should not be a starter. We can get into theories and other things about why Eddie Jackson was even starting in the first place, but Eddie Jackson sucked. He was the worst player. He was the worst player on the field on either team on Sunday. But to me, he's still not the most to blame, because a guy who the Ravens invested a first-round pick in and who gave an extension to on third down, and a week after him kind of tooting his own horn and all his fucking sycophants on Twitter talking about how great he is, came out and had arguably his worst game as a Raven.
So, BT, was that just me or was Will a robot?
Partially robot.
Okay.
But
I got of what Will said. Fuck Rashad Bateman. Like, trust me, I get it. For folks who are like, all right, maybe this guy's turned a corner, and then he got a little cocky, and now he drops the fucking ball.
That's what I said. That is what I said.
Pretty much. That was the gist of when he was going robot.
And my whole thing. God, fucking Austin Wells just hit a home run, or whatever the fuck his first name is. I'm really pushing for the sweep here. Fuck Aaron Judge. My whole thing with Bateman is that like we got so like that is he's been his whole career is that he's gonna flash and he's gonna do stupid shit, and we bought into the flash. And so are we mad at Rashad Bateman because we got fucking tricked, or like did we really expect that? I guess is my question.
Well, no. So I think you and I both were pretty clear with everybody who every time Rashad Bateman has a good game, or even like a decent, if Rashad Bateman has more than 50 yards, people start tagging him. So our response has been to that, okay, do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again. Because right now, like you would have thought after last week that Rashad Bateman was on pace for like 1,500 yards. He was on pace for 900 yards. Like that's a fine season. It's okay. But it's nothing like the fact that people are flexing about his performance. He had a really good game last week, and he had a couple of decent games before that. But like, he's just like
last comment on the
people
screen.
talk about him like he's some kind of record setter, or he's like suddenly emerging as like an alpha or wide receiver one. None of that's true. He just had a good game, one good game.
But he was acting like that too. So again, it was
you're right.
Brown. It was the Marquise Brown problem of the wide receiver one attitude, carrying himself like a wide receiver one, and then not producing like a wide receiver one. You look at Bateman talking to the media. I think Trippy said it last week. Was acting like a virgin who just lost his virginity. Like was the happiest motherfucker in the room. You think that he put up the greatest game of all time, and it was a good game. Don't get me wrong. 120 yards of a touchdown is for Rashad Bateman are like career highs. Good for him. But, again, he kind of had that wide receiver one swagger. And I'm like, if you're going to give the wide receiver one swagger and you're going to back it up a little bit, like, fucking fine, give me it, because it's better than the mopey bitch that he'd been his whole career. But, hold
on.
Drew,
Sway, do you want to come on? Do you want to be the fourth person on this podcast? Because I'm not sure that any of the other
at the moment.
I'm going to send him.
You're starting to go robot too there, Drew. But I'm going to agree with both of you here because as I was coming onto this podcast and even beforehand, you guys have been very critical of Rashad Bateman and basically telling him, do it again, do it again, do it again. We prove us wrong. And we just want to be proven wrong. That's all there is to it. There is no reason to get after all of us who have been very critical of Bateman. Just let Bateman prove us wrong. That's all.
No, I mean, I'm fine with people. I'm fine with people fucking tweeting me all they want when he does something good. Like, go for it. I don't really fucking care. But when he does something bad, I'm gonna fucking say he does something bad. Like that's the one that blows my mind. And the sun absurd. Okay, like everybody's like, oh, he was looking directly in the sun trying to catch that ball. The sun has existed for a very long fucking time.
Some would argue without the sun, the Earth wouldn't even exist, and football would never have happened.
Right.
Some would say that.
But according to Bateman Dick Eaters, like the sun just happened for the first time on Sunday, and he's the first human being to ever encounter the sun, which I don't fucking get. Whatever, fine. People want to fucking look for every excuse under the sun for that guy, pun intended. Go for it. But like he just lost the ball. Like he didn't lose it because of the sun. He fucking saw he was wide open, panicked, and he dropped the ball like he's done 100 times before. Will brought up a great point that the play after he dropped that, Stout punted the ball, around in the same spot where he should have caught that pass.
No, further, 64 yards, but the ball would have gone. I mean, the ball would have been in that, in the sun the whole way.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and the punt returner.
Big dog dad's here.
No fucking problem.
BDC.
Yeah, I mean, you know, people, the people who are, oh, he lost in the sun, you couldn't catch that. Like, dude, shut the fuck up, please. Like, for once, can people not have his dick, you know, rammed down your fucking throats and be objective?
And, you know, they make these things that go over your eyes that'll protect your sight from the sun.
No.
I am not by. Yeah, actually, if Rashad Bateman tunes into this, he probably thinks I'm wearing sunglasses to make fun of him, which would have been a good bit on my part if I hadn't been doing that for weeks on end beforehand. But, like, you know, I'm not a elite by any stretch of the imagination. I played baseball all the way through college. Like,
slobbers on Bateman's talent.
Oh yeah, so much. The amount of people who get fucking mad at me is wild. But in all seriousness, like, I caught enough baseballs hit. You don't look directly into the sun if the ball's hit towards the sun. You know, you can kind of look away from it and use your best judgment as to where the ball's going to end up, and then you catch the fucking ball. Like, it's not challenging. I really hate to break it to these people who are like, oh, you couldn't catch that. Like, I'm positive that 9 people on Twitter could have caught that ball. And if you put somebody,
guess what? If you're on Twitter and you couldn't catch that ball, that's okay, because you are a fucking regular ass motherfucker on Twitter. You're not an Twitter, NFL wide receiver. You're not making millions of dollars. You're not on the fucking field on Sunday. So yes, we are allowed to be critical of what the guys do during the game, despite the fact we couldn't do it. But I mean, like, that's the dumbest. Oh, you couldn't have caught the ball. Number one, I probably could have. But number two, if I couldn't have, okay, fine. I'm not a fucking NFL wide receiver.
Our school daycare forced us to get the sun in the 90s.
Dropped a ball like that, their first reaction wouldn't be to log on to Twitter and respond to a fanboy saying, you know, hey,
say the sun was in my eyes. Yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty sure the second that happened, like, in our private group, we were all saying he's going to blame that on the sun.
Right. He is a frustrating human being to deal with. Did I say last week that we invited him on and I said I would paint my nails live on the podcast?
Yeah.
I think I said this last week. And that message got to me. He was like, no, that's not funny. Dude, fuck you. Like, get a fucking grip, man. Like, it's not that serious. Like, I didn't really care about you human being. Like, you were a player on my favorite. Thought it'd be a good laugh for everybody. You want to be a sensitive bitch about it to the point that you're sending family members, like, into my mentions to try to fight me on things. His alleged blood cousin was tweeting.
That was like, and by the way, that was like not until the 9th time there was a reply. He goes, he's my blood cousin, which at that point means.
So he called him his little cousin in his first response to me. And I was like, well, tell your little fucking cousin to catch the ball. Like, really wasn't that big of a deal. And he just kept going. He's like, I'm not going to let you talk about my cousin like that. Well, your cousin's a fucking loser. Like, I hate to break it to you.
You weren't expressing opinions. You were just saying he didn't catch the fucking ball.
Catch the fucking ball.
That happened. I mean, like,
that's not an opinion. It's his job.
Hey, blood cousin, do you have blood flowing to your fucking eyes? Can you see what happened in the game? Because he dropped the ball 2 times.
I would question the blood flow to his brain after speaking to him a couple times on Twitter, but you know, it's a different conversation for a different day, I guess.
His header image on Twitter is a picture of his bank account balance. It's a healthy balance.
That's how much Rashad paid to defend him on Twitter, I think.
Yeah, it's a healthy balance. I'm not shitting on that, but it's a fucking cringe move to post your fucking bank account balance as your header on Twitter.
It's like 18 grand. Like, it's not
18 grand, right? So that's what I'm saying.
That's not enough. That it's a healthy balance, but it's not enough.
It's a very healthy checking account balance, but yeah, no, you shouldn't be posting that as some sort of flex.
Also, I would like, you know, they're starting to go after people who took out those fraudulent PPP loans. One of them I would like them to go after is Gregory P. Roman. That I did a lot of legwork on research for that.
Oh, you did all that?
Yeah, I did. I was the one who found that. You found me. What I
you're right.
PPP money on.
I mean, he's doing the same thing with the Chargers. So
somebody with the same last name as him and the same name as his children took out a very large PPP loan the same week that Greg Roman closed on a $1.2 million home in Owings Mills. So I would like that if anybody's listening. But I would also say that Rashad Bateman's cousin might have taken out a fraudulent PPP loan. That just seems like the kind of guy that he was.
I think we should I think as you know, as patriots, we should be alerting
taxpaying Americans.
Yeah, just you know, We have a lot of government agencies who investigate shit. So I think we should just create maybe some attention for a potential case that they could open.
Absolutely.
I mean,
so
Dean Pease and Wink Martindale were at the January 6th riots, and Greg Roman took out a fraudulent. It is what it is. People need to do the right thing and, investigate. That's all.
So
my tax money funds your salary to investigate. So
in regards to the most hated Ravens from last week, Eddie Jackson still number 2?
Number 2 for me.
Yeah,
Rashad Bateman's number 1. And I will admit that Rashad Bateman being number 1 for me is a combination of what he did in the game and my feelings for him in general.
Yeah, and Eddie Jackson being number 1 is solely based on what happened in the game. So, I get what you're saying is that
I don't know that I've ever seen
more.
Yeah,
you expect more out of Bateman, so you put him higher, which is
I expect more.
Whatever.
I expect more from him in general, and especially coming off the game he had last week and the way he was fucking, sashaying around, fucking doing the Macarena after the game. But on Eddie Jackson, I don't know that I've ever seen anyone on the Ravens on the defensive side of the ball have as bad of a game as he had.
Sharice Wright comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he sucked ass and only played
for
injuries. So yeah, but the guys who come to mind are all trash bag corners. What was the dreadheaded guy that we had who was 1-on-1 with Devontae Adams?
Robert Jackson.
Injury. Yeah, but that's a guy we picked up off the. But that's another one that
Trevon Williams
for that. Yeah, all these people that really had no business playing, and they were only playing because somebody was.
Trevon Williams was signed off the street. He was 38 years old at the time, so
he sucks ass, but also I never expected him to be good. You brought in Eddie Jackson expecting a decent veteran depth safety. He's just not that at all. And my other issue again, Eddie Jackson just getting burnt up and down the fucking field. At some point you have Braid and what's the other guy? Kane. They can't be any worse.
Kane is the personal protector for the punter every fucking time we punt, which happens a lot nowadays. It feels like, but so Kane is readily available. I haven't seen him in on one defensive snap all year.
I think he's played 3 defensive snaps.
They must have been in junk time when you're not paying attention who's on the.
And Brennan Ace also makes a good point here with that.
I feel like the scheme isn't really working for his. So I don't know if we want to get us now or save this for a little bit down the road after we get our gripes out. I want to shit on the offense enough.
Bench Project 77.
Ronnie had his worst game of the year. He was also going up against the best pass rusher he's faced all year, so I can kind of understand why it still wasn't a good game for Ronnie. Linderbaum had a stupid penalty. Flaley looked terrible. Makari looked like Makari, and Rosengarten was okay. I feel like Lamar got pressured a lot more on Sunday than he had in previous weeks.
Well, and Kohler and Ricard were barely on the field, which is bananas to me.
That's what bothers me is that I feel like we could have, stopped their pass rush better than we did. I also feel like we're not talking about the offensive line if Rashad Bateman converts those 2 third downs and Aguilar catches that 3rd down. Yep. So, Lamar made a lot of plays on the run. There were a lot of great throws that he made on the run, and I feel like we almost forget about how often he's forced on the run if people made the catches they were supposed to. So, offensive line wasn't good. We could have made it work. So,
and Rosengarten, on Rosengarten, I feel no one knows how PFF grades up anyone. They don't know how no one knows the fucking the algorithm they use or whatever. But Rosengarten had a pretty bad grade, but I feel like Rosengarten is being penalized for Vallely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't help him for sure, but that's the other thing with PFF.
He's a rookie. He's a true freshman. The guy got drafted in the 2nd round, and he's thrown into the fire, which I think we all expected him to be, but still, it's the NFL, so we can give him a little bit of grace. I think
I would say
I'm not
overly concerned with the offensive line. I'm just not thrilled with their showing. I thought it was a step backwards instead of a step forward, like they've been
100%
doing.
Agree with that.
So, maybe it's something you put a pin in and watch for this week. But, it wasn't a great showing by them by any means. Todd Monken getting away from running the ball. Again, you went into the Chiefs mode there. Derrick Henry only having 11 carries is wrong.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but there's no other way to describe it. I
thought coming out of halftime, we were going to see Derrick Henry carry the ball 20 times in the second half.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like the run wasn't working. And his yards per carry are a little bit inflated because I think he was averaging like 4.5 yards per carry, other than that 39-yard carry that he had.
Yeah, he
but
had
still,
one really long.
The reason why he had a 39-yard carry is that he had back-to-back fours before that. So
exactly.
He was softening up the defense, and if you keep giving him the ball, he's going to keep breaking long runs off. I thought Mark looked good. I would have liked to see Isaiah Likely maybe get some more opportunities because I thought that he was, looked good. I want to see Zay find the end zone. I feel like he deserves touchdown at this point. He's got one this year, but another good game for him. What was it, 112 yards or something like that? So again, he looked fine. It was a frustrating game because the offense did more than enough to win on any given week, and you let Jameis Winston fucking tear you up on defense. Jalen Armour-Davis sucks balls. You kind of knew that going in, though. That's not breaking news that he's bad at football.
So Jalen Armour-Davis is a cornerback 6 or 5. So having him on your active and on the team is good because you have guys who are capable of being on the field and they know the play call and all that. But when you're relying on him the way we relied on him this past week, it's going to be a problem.
Mollett didn't look good. Mollett's also coming off an injury. You just had kind of a shitty situation at corner there where you had Wiggins and Marlon out. Brandon Stevens was not good, not bad. He, kind of Brandon Stevens. He didn't turn his head around a couple times. He let a couple catches be made on him. He also didn't really give up any big yards after the catch and, kind of wrapped guys up. So kind of it is what it is. Roquan, again, something's not right with him. I don't know what it is, but, you've got to stop having him carry guys over the middle of the field. It's not working.
Okay, so I was looking at his numbers through his career, and he's never really been great at coverage. And I feel like one of the problems is that the way the defense is being called, he is ending up in coverage way, way, way too often. So it's exposing a weakness of his game.
What he's been great at his whole career is that, he can move sideline to sideline quick. And he kind of, he's always that second guy to the ball carrier of, the Brandon Stevens of the world kind of hold up the guy after the catch and Roquan comes in and cleans up the mess. And that's kind of always been his bread and butter. And now you're expecting him to play primary coverage on tight ends, running backs, even slot wide receivers over the middle. It's not his game.
Roquan is an elite tackler. So Roquan leads the Ravens in tackles, not just by he's, he leads the team in tackles. He has 82 tackles, and the next closest is Kyle Hamilton at 57. So we're talking about 25 tackles difference.
And some of that is because you have him in primary coverage on a guy, and he's the catch, and then he gets a tackle. So, you almost don't want Roquan to be leading tackles. I feel like him leading the team in tackles.
Your middle linebacker is going to lead the team in tackles if they're good.
Yeah, but Patrick Keon led the team in tackles last year. He'd get abused in coverage. You know what I mean? You almost don't want. I'm saying in a perfect world, you would rather Roquan not be covering the tight end, letting him get a 10-yard catch and then tackling. You know what I mean?
So here's a caveat to the previous to what I'm saying. So he has 82 tackles, 1 tackle for loss.
Right, that's the issue. He's not.
And I think, the run game. But I think that also is going to shine kind of a light on some issues with the scheme where we have him ending up in coverage or behind the line of scrimmage or in front of the line of scrimmage way too often, where he's not able to play the way he should play. Where
he's not playing downhill; he's playing.
Roquan stalks the ball and runs downhill and goes and gets it. That's what he does best. So the fact that he has as many tackles as he does and 1 for loss means he's not being used properly, and which means the whole defense is just not being called properly.
Correct.
Also, we have to mention our pass rush is atrocious. Kyle Van Noy's streak has ended. Nobody took my advice and fractured.
He almost had a pick 6 this week, just to be fair.
Yeah.
And he had a sack last week.
That's because Jameis Winston's retarded, not because Kyle Van Noy did anything right. You know what I mean? He doesn't look the same as he did. Owe is not getting to the passer as often. Matabike is not getting to the passer as often as he did last year. You healthy scratch.
But here's a caveat to VD's comment. Why don't we use Simpson for those type of issues? Because of his big ability to be good in coverage. Because, I mean,
again, this goes back to coaching to me.
he does go back to coaching.
It does. I feel like, let's just get into the defense now. So the knee-jerk reaction on Twitter is that, Zach Orr is essentially Osama bin Laden, and he's getting the Greg Roman treatment, and he's getting blamed for all of our I think that anybody solely blaming Zach Orr is lazy and stupid. I do not think Zach Orr is perfect. I do think Zach Orr is part of the problem. I do think there are also bigger issues at play here. Matabike is not playing the same as he did last year. Part of that is that he's not getting schemed on like stunts and stuff like that to get to the quarterback. And I get that. And we don't have like a Jadeveon Clowney type who, setting the edge and eating double teams on the outside. Like, fine. I think the biggest issue here is that Zach Orr is in over. He promoted him too early so that we didn't lose him because, you don't want to let Zach Orr walk. I think Zach Orr was always being kind of groomed to be the next defensive coordinator. And I don't think they expected Mike McDonald to get a head coaching job this soon. And so you got forced into this spot of like, do you promote Zach Orr too soon or do you let him walk somewhere else? And they chose to promote him too soon. I think he's in a little bit over his head. We got the whole defensive staff gutted. And rather than filling the staff back up with, veterans, maybe a couple guys with defensive coordinator experience who can sort of mentor Zach Orr, you let him kind of flounder on his own for a couple weeks. And then he went and brought in Dean, which is just, making the problems worse. Like you see the Dean Pease fingerprints all over the play calling. It's a fucking issue. And I think that veteran guys are not playing up to is the other problem. And so I think you got this perfect storm of a rookie defensive coordinator that's in over his head, a guy like Marcus Williams on the back end of your secondary that's not playing up to par, Roquan Smith, who's supposed to be, the heart and soul of your defense that's not being used correctly and also not playing up to par, and your pass rushers are not getting the quarterback. And it's leaving all kinds of guys wide open on the field and causing all kinds of issues for you.
Absolutely. And going, taking a trip down memory lane, I think Mike McDonald had some security places in his scheme to basically make Roquan do what he needs to do. Marcus Williams isn't looking too much of an idiot and just kind of going from there. And in one of our private chats, I forget who said it, but like, Mike did this, why aren't you doing it?
Well, and some of it said he wants to be his own guy, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he wants to put his own fingerprints on the defense, and I get it. Like, you kind of got to let people run their own extent, but it's my issue with Zach Orr is that it's not his fault guys drop interceptions. It's not his fault Kyle Hamilton dropped interceptions. It was pretty clear to me from the first drive that the defensive game plan was going to be that you make Jameis Winston throw the ball 7-8 times to get down the field, and your odds of him doing something fucking stupid with the ball are high, and that you can get a turnover on it. The problem is that you only got one turn. It wasn't on a thrown ball. It was a strip sack. And the Browns said that was communication lapse in their blocking team. So, like at some point you have to look at how the game's progressing and adjust. And you have to look at how your guys are playing and adjust. And I don't think that Zach Orr has done that. That's my biggest gripe towards him at this point.
Hey, just breaking news. I want to let you guys know. Aaron Judge just popped out to center.
I'm watching, I know.
I just wanted to update BT. I thought he might want to know.
I'm looking via the Gamecast.
Yeah, he just popped out. Just popped it up.
Hey, kind of sucks. Total fucking loser.
Checks out in the postseason.
Actually, him and Daniel Falele have in common. Big for no fucking reason. Would be. And then you got the fake Italian hitting right now, Mike Stanton, a.k.a. Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah.
Judge is worse than Lamar in the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be in the playoffs. I think it was Sports Talk Barry had the Lou Gehrig with ALS batted 143 for a season, and Aaron Judge does not have AL on his batting. Kind of embarrassing, being honest. These fans are all MVP, blah blah blah. Like, fucking Helen Keller would better job to play.
I mean, regular season, yeah, definitely, but in the postseason, no. Like I told you all beforehand, I am
on shitty pitching.
Shitty pitching in New York. Wow, that's new. But anyways,
Stan lined out
you,
for the record.
Drew. He sassed you pretty good.
Who did?
BT.
Shitty. I'm saying Aaron Judge. I mean, Garrett Cole's a fucking. And go top to bottom on these lineup. Every one of them is a fucking. Alex Verdugo, an underage girl being assaulted after she got sexually assaulted and posted it on Snapchat. Scumbag. Gleyber Torres, fucking scumbag loser. I don't even know who your center fielder is at this point. Is it Aaron Judge?
Yep.
Playing center for the most part.
Yeah,
loser.
He's playing
Jazz Chisholm, loser. Anthony Rizzo, loser. Austin Wells, loser. Nestor Cortez, loser. Garrett Cole, fucking loser. Clay Holmes, biggest choke artist in Major League Baseball.
Oh,
loser.
I'm gonna agree with you on that on Holmes. He is a stupid
DJ
ass.
DJ LeMahieu, loser.
Anyways,
it's great that we do have VD here for baseball talk as planned.
For baseball talk. Thanks for joining us, VD, asshole. I would just say that VD early in the postseason claimed the Kansas City Royals as his team, and then they lost, and now all of a sudden lifelong Dodgers fan. So, just something to discuss maybe for a different time. Yeah, low leverage. Judge hit 387 with 6 home runs in the regular season. That's low leverage. Aaron. Lights get too bright and he can't do shit. You know, the sun is not a problem for.
The sun is not a problem at all.
No, it's the bright lights of October that are a problem for him. I thought this was a football podcast too, VD, but you know. All right, so back to football. Ours is a fucking train wreck. I don't know.
We had a lot of second and third string guys in our secondary, so I mean we couldn't really do shit.
Yeah, and you know, again, so like if I'm being fair, Jalen Armour-Davis is probably reason number 2 we lost. Like he sucked ass, but like Will said, he's our CB 5 or 6 on a good. So like, am I really gonna be all that annoyed that CB 5 or 6 got fucking toasted all game? Like there, you know, next man up, whatever, do your job, whatever lame, you know, Bill Belichick quote you want to throw in there. Like, yeah, cool, but he's our CB 5 or 6. Like he sucked his whole career. We knew that. So expecting him to do something good on Sunday was like, you know, it wasn't going to happen. I mean, we had fucking Bump Cooper Jr. was like our CB4. Again, like nobody's heard of that guy. He's an undrafted free agent. I don't like him because he's got a cool. I don't think he's actually going to play well. So, yeah, you're a pro. You're drafted to be a pro. And then I watched Jalen Armour-Davis multiple times be like, this guy sucks ass. So, I don't know.
We finally got our regular moderator here in the show. Welcome aboard, Jake.
What's up?
Hey, Jake, shut the fuck up.
You shut the fuck up.
Jake,
My
we're
pleasure.
Jake, we're complaining about the defense. We already complained about the nail painting douchebag. We spent quite a bit of time talking about how much Rashad Bateman sucks. We're now complaining about how much it sucked.
We also complained about Eddie Jackson sucking major ass.
Yeah,
I did love
job.
the trip. Do you see the trippy video of Eddie Jackson walking? Lamar's walking.
Eddie Jackson, catch his fucking ball, mate.
But it was like, you know, Lamar's walking by. Trippy's like, it's all right, Lamar. You know, let him next week. And then Eddie Jackson looks by. He's like, hey, Eddie, catch the fucking ball.
Yep.
That was hilarious.
How about so I wish Trippy were here, but Trippy calling over Tez Walker, and they had this whole conversation, and then he's like, all right, I'm going to tell Harbs to make you a safety.
Yeah, I heard that.
Damn. Right.
I didn't know Tez Walker was ring guy, which kind of I'm not a fan of.
Calvin.
I wish I didn't see that. Grant Calvin. A lot of people in those rings not a fan of. But you know, different problem for a different day. That's another guy. Why don't we
get Calvin in here?
Calvin's banned from Zone 32 until he fucking tries to kick field goals. It's been like a month.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Mr. I know an athletic was going to, set this whole thing up, and Calvin won't do it. So I
haven't heard nothing from Calvin. Don't take. I'll be there when I need to be there.
No.
I'll be there with the proper equipment.
I'm not criticizing him. Saying you know an athletic director in a field, and it's on Calvin to say when he's available.
Yeah,
he hasn't done it yet. So yeah, I was just making fun of your I know an athletic director flex.
No, I got access to the equipment. I got the equipment.
Hilarious line that gets overlooked. But
yeah, shitty defense.
Yeah.
Trash.
Shitty defense.
Absolutely trash. And it's wild to see.
Were you at Buffalo Wild Wings for the game?
No, I was at home. Watching. Actually, I was at home watching. It was awful.
I was getting paid to watch that game.
Have the Ravens lost the game when you've gone to Buffalo Wild Wings?
This year they have. I've only ever gone once. So
you've only gone once this year?
Only gone once to B-dubs for the game this year. And that was the Raiders, and I'm like, nope, I ain't doing that again.
Because I know like 3 times last year they won soundly all 3 games. So I was going to say you might have to live at B-dubs. Might have to live at B-dubs, but
I mean, which
B-dubs
is fine. I mean, I was going to say which was fine because I own so many B-dubs out in California. That's why I eat so many hamburgers there. You get bored of saucy nuggets.
Honestly, you eating a cheeseburger at Buffalo Wild Wings is less crazy than Rashad Bateman claiming he lost the ball in the sun.
Right.
I think that's how fucking wild that was. You think Eddie Jackson lost all his interceptions in the sun?
Right.
I think there was a few in the shade.
The one that he dropped the first drive, honestly, like he was the target of that pass. There was not a Brown
that went right to him
in any direction. Like James Winston was like, "Oh, Eddie will catch," and threw it to him, and then Eddie dropped it.
The touchdown that was thrown down the seam. Like I've never seen any player in the NFL.
You're talking the game-winning one. You're talking about the game-winning one where he got torched by Tillman.
Yep.
Right. Just to be clear.
So Tillman ran the seam. He didn't even he didn't even disguise it. He just ran the seam, and Eddie Jackson turned towards the sideline, ran towards the sideline, and then ran.
Oh, you are underselling. Have you seen the all 22 angle? The undersell of the century by you.
I mean, I don't even need to see it. All I know is I watched it in real time as it was happening, and I was like, "What the fuck is he?" He turned the complete wrong way. Like there wasn't even a juke that would have led him to think that was the way his body should be turned, but he did it anyway. And then he was like, "Oh fuck, I guess I got to go run the opposite direction now." He couldn't have played that worse. It made me sick.
Cedric Tillman ran straight at him for 10 yards maybe, and Eddie Jackson just stood there flat-footed and was like,
"Wait, you're setting to play safety?"
Honestly, I'm better than fucking Eddie Jackson. People outside of Twitter have confirmed that I would be a better safety than Eddie Jackson. Yeah, that playing of that till fucking, and that was the entire day. There's also the still of Njoku just like teabagging the shit out of Eddie on that touchdown. Which again, great catch by Njoku. Eddie Jackson to make that fucking play.
And again, Eddie Jackson's head, he's like looking at the fucking Goodyear blimp. It's crazy where his fucking head is, and the ball is behind him. It's behind him.
The wrong direction for the ball.
It's crazy.
He did turn his head around, but just not
the wrong fucking way. He's fucking bird watching. This guy's looking at fucking owls.
If he was like drunk, I would maybe understand why some of this shit happened. So does Eddie Jackson have a drinking problem?
It was insane. He was so bad. It was like you had to make up your own fucking adventure about why he was doing what he was doing. It made no goddamn sense. I've never seen, like I said, I've never seen a defensive back in the NFL. I've never watched a defensive back in the NFL have as bad a game start to finish as him.
Marcus Williams must have loved that. So just to touch on Marcus Williams, Harbaugh says not going to play because of internal team issue. There's a whole lot of speculation on the internet, mostly being pushed by Marlon Humphrey's co-host, who clearly knows what's going on and won't say it because then, everybody will know that it came from Marlon. Little Jackie sources, your source is Marlon, which is fine. You do a podcast. Again, a lot of rumors as to what happened. Harbaugh did come out after the game and say Williams wasn't going to play. I think having him in uniform on the sideline, knowing he wasn't going to play, was a wild move. I think we talked about that privately before. Whatever, because Eddie Jackson said he knew to start on Wednesday. So that means it was a known thing that Marcus Williams was not going to play. So I would say have him in pre-close. But nobody loves Eddie Jackson's downfall more than Marcus Williams. And maybe this helps Marcus Williams not suck ass anymore. I guess silver lining is that Marcus Williams can look at that performance.
I disagree. I think Marcus Williams seeing the guy who they played instead of him be terrible is him being like, see, I wasn't that bad.
Maybe.
It could be a mix of the both.
There are rumors that Marcus Williams is upset that he is getting blamed for how plays end. He plays his assignment, I think is the diplomatic way to put that. That has potentially caused some issues between him and coaches, players, media, whatever the problem is. My comeback to that would be shut the fuck up and play. Stop pouting about it. But we can't get any worse than Eddie Jackson was on Sunday. So maybe, I'm hoping that maybe messaging for Marcus Williams and that we can get some kind of, better play out of him would be fucking phenomenal. But I never want to see Eddie Jackson think is the crux of this issue here.
Well, I believe we discussed it last week or 2 weeks ago. The real way for this defense to turn it around is to simplify everything. They're getting too cute. They're doing these fucking disguises to where you have DBs coming down and trying to make plays 15 yards off the line of scrimmage and doing these late rotations and getting caught out of position. They're doing way too much thinking. They're not confident out there on the field. And it's telling because they don't do anything well. They can't get after the quarterback.
It's a double-edged sword what you're saying, Jake, because we're complaining we don't get to the quarterback enough. And so the way you try to get more pressure is by
blitzing.
These exotic blitz packages or simulated pressures that, you're trying to confuse the quarterback at the line of scrimmage, which is fine. But I feel like you're rotating Eddie Jackson down, who's already slow as fuck and not going to be able to get back on this guy. Maybe you rotate Kyle Hamilton, but then you rotate Kyle Hamilton down and something pick up his guy that he's supposed to. So it's a whole bunch of issues going on that are fixed just to get to the fucking quarterback. I think that's the bigger issue, is that if you're going to go through all the, exotic wilds, confuse the quarterback, you got to make sure the blitz. I think that is kind of the start on this defense. If you're going to fix things, is that you got to get in the quarterback's face. And I'm not asking to start leading the NFL in sacks, but you got to disrupt the passer. Enough of, James Winston had all day in the fucking pocket, which is part of why he did
all day.
Is that he had all day in the fucking pocket, and then he just had to wait a few seconds for, Eddie Jackson or Jalen Armour Davis to do something stupid. That's a pretty easy day for a quarterback. I don't understand why, we spent all this money on Matabike. We have Kyle Van Noy. Tavius Robinson has looked good in doses. Travis Jones has caused some mayhem up the middle. I feel like you got to get something going on the defensive line and really get to the quarterback, only rushing 4 guys, and just, beat the man in front of you. Enough of the getting cute, enough of the, simulating pressure. I want to see Justin Matabike line up on the edge and beat his guy off the edge and get to the quarterback. I want to see Odafe Oweh, if you got to do 43 spin moves to get to the quarterback, fucking do them, but hit the quarterback. I hope a message was sent to Ajabo that, you're a second-round pick. Figure it the fuck out. You're making Drew Band look really fucking stupid, and he's getting more tweets about you sucking than fucking, Rashad Bateman doing well. Maybe this lights a fire under his ass and he does something. But I would like to see Bo Nix flat on his back 30 times.
It's mandatory. You have to. You can't let a youngster like him come in and light you up through the air. That's shameful. Now, mind you, other than the Buffalo game, we've been lit up through the air in pretty much every game we played this year.
Even the Buffalo game, I would say that we were put in a position to be lit up through the air, but Josh Allen didn't take advantage of it. They shot themselves in the foot more than we stopped them.
Definitely.
Visionless Dave has asked if defense is good enough to make a Super Bowl run. Talent-wise,
the talent enough.
Agreed 100%.
Well, I guess my it's our podcast, so you can ask all the questions you want, Hurricane Dave. But is the Chiefs' offense good enough to make the Super Bowl?
Actually, that's a great comparison because last year you would say the Chiefs' offense. I would like to see Bo Nix flat on his back. Pause, of course. Of course. Yep. That's my fault. I gave Visionless Dave ammo to put out there, but no. Yep. The Chiefs' offense from a couple years ago is a good comparison because all year everybody was like, "Oh, Chiefs' offense sucks. They can't score 25 points a game. They're never going to win the playoffs." And then the playoffs rolled around, and all of a sudden they just fucking figured it out. And so the Ravens the defense has the talent to do something like that. Will they do something like that? I don't know. It's a kind of wait and see thing. At this point, I would love to see them go out and add a pass rusher and add a safety and just kind of see what happens. I mean, that's really the only point that you're at here. You're kind of past the point of firing the defensive coordinator and starting a whole new team. So you sort of just have to keep rolling the ball and everything's go your way would be my response to that question.
And if you know what? Hey, you know what, Visionless Dave? If Ojabo was the wrong pick, he may have been. I would say the Ravens right now would be in a better spot if they had picked Jaquan Brisker.
From the Bears,
if they had picked Tyquan Thornton.
If they had picked another
Cam Jurgens.
I don't know if I can go
if they had picked Alec Pierce. If they had picked Trey McBride. If they had picked, I'll keep going if you want to. But it doesn't have to be.
Will is avoiding saying somebody's name. Shout out George Pickens for the most athletic non-catch I've ever seen in my entire life last night. I don't know
That was skill to not score a touchdown there.
To not put your foot down in that situation is one of the most athletically impressive feats I've ever seen in my entire life. The dumbest fucking football play.
By the way, James Cook was taken at pick 63 in that draft.
Yeah, but if we took James Cook, we wouldn't have signed Derrick Henry, so I don't want James
That's
Cook.
true.
No, I agree.
Very much true, was it?
James Cook could be RB2. Who knows?
I mean, I'm just going to keep going. He kind of started emerging into more of a bell cow back towards the end of the year last year for the Bills. That offense is predicated around him now as opposed to big-ass Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen's a fullback. Nobody talks about it, but
nope.
So,
fullback from bumfuck nowhere in California.
Sunday.
Also, according to sources on the internet, Josh Allen has still not thrown an interception all year. Most reputable football sources and people who watch the game on Sunday.
Most reputable reading sources.
But there are who claim that he has not thrown a pick yet. So I just want that to be put out on the record.
I see. They did not watch the Seahawks game then.
That source may have tweeted a graphic that showed that he threw an interception, but then denied that sources in the replies. So quite the wild.
Repeatedly. But that source may also be on the record as not being literate. So
yeah.
Oh no.
Quite the wild move by Calvin. You know,
so he needs the thing that Eric Cartman had in South Park, hooked on monkey fun.
Pretty much.
I'm not sure that would help. I think he needs something more elementary than that.
Oh shit.
Maybe
that's the case. You done.
Maybe a brain transplant of some kind. I'm not sure.
Brain transplant would probably help.
Nah, he just needs to go back to preschool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you color in the lines. Inside the
lines. Billy Madison type thing for Calvin. Where he
2 weeks in each grade.
His final will be
and maybe
his final will be an oral essay about the puppy who lost his way.
No, his final essay is kicking 1 out of 3 field goals.
Yeah, but that doesn't prove literacy. That just proves he can kick a ball. That could be his athletic final. But
from a Harry Potter book, then I'll donate $500,000 to the charity of his choice.
That's right. That's exactly right.
I left some words out of that 50 cents.
I recall. From old Curtis Jackson.
Yeah, Curtis Jackson, the Floyd, the woman beater Mayweather.
Yeah.
So we can all agree that Sunday was an absolute shit show. Fire these people into the sun, and
the only way that I'm okay with Sunday is that it is some monumental turning point for our season, similar to that Browns blowout loss at home in 2019. If this is the point that we went and got Diontae Johnson.
I was about to bring that up next.
That was a pretty big move. Screwing for a wide receiver for a while, and I think that short of adding like a Devontae Adams type, like that's the right move to make. Is that you go get a guy who is used to being not the primary target on an offense, and he seems to fit in with the Ravens' idea of separation over catches. And so now you got a bunch of guys who get open. I could see that working out pretty well. I think he's got better hands than Aguilar. I think a lot of his drop issues are behind him. So you're also building up the if we can't go get anybody on defense because there's no major I don't think we walk away trade deadline without making any moves on defense. But if you're just bringing in depth guys, not premier pass rusher or premier safety, at least you have you might not be able to play defense at a high level, but your offense, and you have the possibility for that.
So I asked
take that recharge comment off.
Hold on.
We're ignoring him.
I'm just going to point out the Browns are here, 24.
Mm-hmm.
Where are
the
we
Patriots are 27.
Yeah.
Also, Drake May has brain damage per sources. Yep.
So a good friend of mine, who's unfortunately a big Steelers fan, sent me. I asked him about the in-depths of DJ, and he said a guy who can get open, but historically has problems catching the passes, is short and not a tight end, so doesn't have the huge catch radius that Andrews and Likely have. Now you guys get to worry about the diva critique as well. He's a competent blocker occasionally, but he's not a DK Ward or Allen Robinson type. So don't expect him to be a key blocker on the long run.
Do you trust Diontae Johnson to catch the ball more than Nelson Aguilar? I probably do.
Yes.
There's no video of a guy. There's no video of a guy outside of fire that Diontae Johnson can't catch babies being thrown out the window. There is a video of somebody saying that about Nelson Aguilar. So
do you trust
Deontay's drops?
Do you trust Diontae Johnson to catch the ball more than you do Rashad Bateman? Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously.
At this point, yeah.
Fucking obviously.
Yes.
That's not really a fair question. I would trust most of our offense to catch the ball more than I would trust Rashad Bateman at this point. So.
Agreed.
I think we all can agree on that.
So what happened today was EDC saw Bateman return to his normal self and said, you know what? This isn't going to work. We need to get a real wide receiver 2. We're going to go get that guy, put him in where Rashad has been pretending. He's been, cosplaying. And so now we have a real offense.
And you know what, I'm going to say something.
Before that, we had the best offense in the league. But now, VD, you were bragging about getting DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins on the Chiefs. I would have loved to have DeAndre Hopkins. I'm not going to shit on DeAndre Hopkins. He's great. But the Chiefs signing him was because the Chiefs had no wide receivers. None.
It's because they signed some useless midget who plays video games in the offseason.
Pretty much.
And a horrifically unsafe driver. But credit to Rashad Bateman, I guess. Cinderella turned back into a pumpkin before we couldn't make a move. So I guess if he was going to, prove that he was still the same dipshit that we thought he was, he did it at the right time. So good for him. Thanks for helping the team out. Oh, my God. Gleyber Torres hit a home run. It's 10-4 Yankees, huh? Not ideal.
Oh, shit. Well, hey, good for them. They'll go ahead and lose the World Series in LA tomorrow.
So it's tomorrow. I think it's Thursday. But
yeah, Thursday.
Clearly, the Dodgers went on home turf, which I would have loved to celebrate winning a World Series in the Guido dipshit Yankee fans' face. But that's just me. Mookie Betts kind of soft. Probably not into that.
He's thinking about bowling.
I have to wonder how much Shohei put on Yankees in 5 or Dodgers through his with his offshore bookie. I would also on top of my Greg Roman and Wink Martindale and DP's investigations that I requested, I would also like the Department of Justice to investigate that.
Hold on. VD, weren't you just saying that you're a Royals fan not too long ago? Like diehard Royals?
He told Will and I in a private chat, don't worry, the Royals got the Yankees, and that his Royals would win. And then the Royals lost in a lifelong Dodger. I don't know.
Dude, I always thought that VD was not a baseball fan.
He's not.
Lied to. Oh, okay.
He just, bandwagon. Not big deal.
Do we want to start to get to
let's get into the Broncos preview. So, obviously, you have a rookie quarterback coming in there. He's playing all right, actually. He's playing better than he started as, because beginning of the year he was atrocious. But
yeah, VD, a big fan of D's.
D's nuts.
Yep. No, just D's in general.
Nice.
Wants to make me gay for saying that I want Bo Nix on his back. You like D, so how about that one, VD?
There you go. D's nuts. Anyway, it's another defense that they've been playing well, but it's another one of those load up the box, blitz heavy, cover on the back end kind of defenses to where you could kind of take advantage of them similarly to where we did against the Bucks and the Commies, really, because they're super aggressive in trying to stop the run, which leaves them susceptible to play action. So offensively, I think this could be a get-right game. In spite of their rankings defensively, just don't throw the ball to Pat Surtain.
That's what I was going to say. Avoid PS2, and I think you're good on offense.
Yeah. I know that.
And don't be afraid to throw towards him, but that shouldn't be your first read. I would just put Rashad Bateman in front of him all game and just use him as a decoy.
Go find out if Riley Moss and their nickel corners can defend.
Oh, I don't know. Riley Moss can.
Can he? Okay.
Grant's a big Riley Moss. I don't know why, but he said that something about restoring hope to people, and he loved Riley Moss. So.
Is he one of those last guy in the building? Is he one of those first guy in the building, last guy out kind of dudes?
Last guy out, makes the most out of his athleticism.
Yep. Brings his lunch pail to work every day.
Yeah, just
high motor.
Not the most athletic guy on the field, but real high football IQ.
Yeah.
Knows how to get the most out of what physical talent he has. So I think we got to watch out for this a little bit. It's kind of
motor never stops. Yep.
Yeah. Plays through the whistle. Really plays really hard nosed, tough.
Yep.
He's a real student of the game. So
that's right.
I think we got to watch out for Riley Moss a little bit, but I think this is going to be a big Mark Andrews. He is sneaky athletic, Naldo. I think we covered that in our white cornerback use, but if I've missed that one, then my apologies.
Yeah, we did miss sneaky athletic. So yeah, sneaky athletic.
Yeah, just you look at him and you don't expect him to be athletic. He is. So yes, I mean defensively, that's kind of. I think that's Jake kind of hit the nail on the head. Like they are, blitz heavy team. They're going to stop the run, and so that's going to leave them vulnerable on the back end. So let's take advantage of that. And then I would say, defensive speaking, Bo Nix doesn't scare me that much. He's turning 37 this year, and he's a rookie. He's going to be selling insurance by like 2027. Let's not let him beat you. When he played for Auburn, he was horrific against the blitz. So maybe this is a week where you kind of get the pass rush and, maybe hit Bo Nix a lot and let him be Auburn Bo Nix instead of Oregon Bo Nix. Because that was the big difference in his career is that, God damn it, VD, constantly just
constantly talking about back end, vulnerable back end. VD has your number in the comment section tonight.
Oh fuck! Yeah, it's not great. He's caught me saying a lot of questionable things out of context. But,
it's all right. I'll just have to pull out your inner Riley Freeman to fight him off.
On fire tonight.
Drew's gay.
Unbelievable.
Hey man, there's nothing wrong with being gay. It's 2024.
I was about to say the same thing. It's 2024. Just let it happen.
Yeah, if you enjoy playing with penis, that's your business. That's not even gender exclusive anymore.
Just making announcements for the listening crowd.
Nobody in the crowd.
Hey, this would make an already apparent fact known, which is Zone 32 is an inclusive kind of podcast, man. We don't judge your sexual preferences. So long
we're sponsored by a fucking murderer, Jay Simpson. So
that is true.
Pretty inclusive of all people.
Yep.
I mean, we did an OJ Simpson honorary mock draft. I feel like that should have been the announcement to the world that your life choices we don't judge you for them. So
exactly,
not all of them.
Yeah,
especially if your wife cheated on you with someone else. Then
some guy named Ronald. And you go and cut both their heads off. Like it's cool. Yeah. We're still gonna honor you.
That's right.
Or your kid does, and you take the fall for it. And Cuba Gooding Jr. plays you in a FX series a couple years later. But
yep, that's right.
I don't think this is a huge Derrick Henry game. I think this is a big Zay Flowers game. Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews, I feel like, are your two guys. Could be a big Diontae Johnson game. I don't know how much because we just
brand new offense.
It's gonna be simplified for Diontae.
Yeah. I feel like you're. I don't know what, like 1/3 of the offensive snaps are gonna have specific packages that you work them into this week. Talking about working guys.
Oh fuck! You just did it again.
Yeah, but I
did it again.
I self-reported.
You dumb gay idiot! What are you doing? Why do you keep saying these things?
Hey, he's just trying to put it out on Front Street that Drew is
really
inclusive.
Drew is trying to work packages into small places.
Drew is one of those dudes who went on to NFLshop.com during Pride Month, found all the rainbow merch, bought it, and is like, you know what? This is for the good of the flock.
I'm slightly rattled by VD's clipping me out of context, and so now I'm catching myself saying these things.
You're not catching yourself. You keep saying it. You keep fucking putting
you don't catch yourself.
Right after I said I caught myself. We are going to design specific small amount of play for Diontae Johnson. And I don't think you're going to see him outside of those plays.
Drew, would you say that group of plays is called the Small Johnson set?
I am not going to comment on anything Johnson related.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Just don't forget that we had a BBC list made in honor of Grant.
Drew's Small Johnson play calls.
You mean Diontae Johnson's small package of plays?
There.
Pause.
I think that makes Jake a good one now, so I'm good.
Hey,
so
yo!
He's off me now. So
hey, man. Inclusivity. It is 2024. If a man...
For falling on the sword for that one.
If a man decides he wants to suck his girlfriend's penis, who am I to judge it? God bless you. That's all I say to that.
Jake, your state should know the most about that.
Oh, they do. Yes, they do. They do. Anyway, let's get into Jersey.
Do you guys remember
Jersey combos?
Do you guys remember that play and gave up on? Does that worry you?
I don't know.
Is that the fumble against the Bengals?
I think so.
I think he was checked out of that Matt Canada offense.
He's been on teams with a bunch of fucking bums for his entire career.
Business decisions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not. You know, I feel like he concerns me a lot less. So, yeah. Correct, Jake. What?
Anyway, so like Jake was trying to say, jersey pant combos.
We'll do that in score picks. Well, I mean,
Will already pick public, so why don't you just say it now, Will?
Purple jerseys, black pants.
He also made mine public and then called me a coward. But
well, no, because you are a coward for the reason you're picking it, because you saw that
I'm a coward for being right. I'm sorry. I would say
it's not about being right. You're picking what you want. What you want.
Well, then I would pick black.
Exactly, or black purple.
Well, then pick black every week. Be a man.
Then I would pick white purple on the road every week. That's fucking stupid. I'm here
exactly.
I'm here to win. What are you, fucking Harmon here? Stop.
We're talking what we think they're gonna do. That's all.
Yeah, I think that they're gonna wear purple jerseys and white pants because they put out a graphic of it. So, again, I'm in the business of being right every week, not in the business of following what my heart desires.
I've tried to tell you, because that happened one time, it's not indicative of what they do. Every graphic they put out when they have not announced the jersey combination is going to be purple jerseys, white pants. That's what they do.
And according to VD's comment, Will's entire account is based on what pants a bunch of men will wear.
Questionable.
That's fair. That is fair. But anyway, I mean, even that being said, Will, what's the weather supposed to be like for the game this week?
Clear, cool, perfect.
60-degree day, 70-degree day.
Yep.
Something like that.
Standard. No concern for weather.
I'll be purple white.
Drew, what's your score?
Ooh, 35. Drew must be going out of business because he's always wrong. Tom, I haven't missed a jersey prediction all year. Bald freak. My God.
So,
Will, what was your score prediction?
I don't have one yet.
As far as jerseys pants go, I'm gonna second Will and go purple and black. As far as score goes, I'm gonna say 34-24.
I have a similar frame of mind as far as like score differential as to BET. I agree with Drew, purple and white. I would avoid purple and black this week because of what happened the last time we played the Broncos and wore purple jerseys, black pants. That was a bad time. So I'll go purple white.
That was the Lamar injury double pack.
Correct.
Yeah.
That was that game. So I'm going purple white.
Will,
30.
Will, stay the fuck away from Edmonton.
There you go.
Nowhere near it. Like
you were there.
Yeah, I was there. I'm not going anywhere. I'm doing the right thing. I'm just asking you to do the same.
I didn't go to the game. I was not at the game.
You were close to the stadium. They felt your vibes. We've been over this.
Jake, tell me your predictions again.
I'm going purple jerseys, white pants, and I'm going 30-20 Ravens. Like, I don't have a lot of faith in the defense being able to hold out too many points, but if you limit enough possessions, Broncos probably only score 20 at the most. And we'll get another angry but funny Brandon Perna video on the end.
Okay. I'm going purple black, obviously. That was my big reveal was exposed by Drew. Fine.
You tweeted it, you retard.
I know.
Like 10, 12 hours ago.
It was like
all right, my score is 31-17.
All right, so Will and I are bigger margin of victory than BT and Jake because we're real fans and they're not. That's fine.
That's right. That's right.
But we also have seen what this defense has been the last week, so...
Correct.
Sean Payton tried to fuck us by shutting off the lights at halftime because he was protesting Bounty Gate. I feel like this is a game that we stick it to him and rub it in his fucking face that we still won. So
damn straight.
That'll work.
Fuck Sean Payton. Yeah.
Fuck Sean Payton.
Fuck
John Elway.
Bo Nix seems to forget that Cortland Sutton exists sometimes. Javonte Williams went to UNC, so he's a fucking loser. So I'm not really afraid of him. Just offensively, they don't care. Purple jersey, and mustard pants.
They could has been on.
Take that off the screen now.
When are they going? When are they going to bust out the purple helmet?
Next week. Not this week, but the week after against the Bengals.
Have they already announced that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
They announced at the same time as they announced the all black.
It was the darkness falls and purple rising.
Yep.
Got it. I said this would be an interesting week to break that out, but I didn't know if they had announced that yet, so that's why I asked. So I didn't look like a clown. because I don't like to be wrong on jersey predictions.
That's right. Well,
Some people
anyway,
I'll be right every week. Will's not one of them.
Oh, there you go. But anyway, that's going to do it for this week's installment. We will be back to discuss this, that, and the other. But meanwhile, it's time for me to die.
Zone 32.